Well, it's great to see you all. Rita joining from Palm Desert, California. So keep sharing in the chat if you like. I'm gonna go ahead and get us started since we're a couple of minutes after the hour. But it's great to see some longtime WARP members and great to see some new faces. We're so happy to have you with us today. This is WARP's Continuing Textile Traditions panel discussion. It's our monthly program that's free and open to all. We also have a couple of other monthly programs that are for just WARP members. That's our monthly fireside chat where we connect with a different member each month, and our networking roundtable program, which is a discussion-based program on a different topic each month. So we invite you to attend future programs. I am going to just put WARP's website in the chat today, but please check it out when you have a chance. All of our upcoming programs are right there on the home page, so you'll be able to see them and check out what's coming up in the coming months and register if you like. So, if you're new to WARP, we are an international textile networking organization, and today we have a program we get to connect with Maya Mam weavers in Guatemala, and we're going to hear from their team. And I'm going to turn it over to Deborah Chandler, who is going to give an introduction before the program begins.
Now? Hi.
Yes.
Good. Hi, everybody. It's exciting to see so many people. It's nice. Um, I first met Caryn Maxim and of what is now my Mom Weavers a bunch of years ago. Neither one of us remembers exactly when, but it was a while ago. And what they were doing was exciting from the start. It was like all projects like this, small. And when we did our rehearsal last week, I just got so excited because they've done so much. They've come so far. And since you came to hear them, not me, I'm going to let Caryn take over and just step out of the picture for a minute, because I want to hear what she has to say also. Caryn and her whole team are here. So, Caryn,
Well,
I
thank
turn it
you.
over to you.
Thank you very much for the introduction. Robin, would you put on the slides for us? And could you move to the first slide?
Okay.
So, good afternoon. I am Caryn Maxim. I am the founder of Maya Mam Weavers in Guatemala and in the United States. But I want you to remember that each of these organizations today is a separate organization. I'm going to talk about how it got started and how we became a fair trade business. Then on our team, Maria Vail is the sales and marketing coordinator at Tejadoras Maya Mam in Cajola. And she's going to talk about how they have organized themselves into an independent company and how they are developing the Guatemala market. Then Sonia Velasquez, who is the quality control coordinator at Tejadoras Maya Mam in Cajola, will talk about the process that she goes through to make sure the products that arrive in the US are of the high quality that our customers expect. Then we'll go back to the US team. Jennifer Webster is our marketing director in the United States. She will talk about our approach to marketing and social media. And then Robin Grunder is our creative director in the States, and she will talk about our design process. My story goes back to 2002 when I met a group of Guatemalan migrants while I was advocating for the day workers on the street corner in my community of Morristown, New Jersey. I started working closely with them, and when they decided to return to their community, Cajola, in the western highlands of Guatemala, they had the dream of developing their community so that people weren't forced to migrate. And I said, hey, I'm going to go with you. I left my job and began traveling to Cajola for 2 weeks of every month. Cajola is a Mam community of about 20,000 people with a very high poverty rate, and 40% of their community has migrated to the United States, resulting in beautiful but empty houses and social disintegration. I began by organizing women with the question, what can you do to get yourselves out of poverty? And out of that work grew Tejadoras Maya Mam, the weaving cooperative where Mayamam Weavers sources all of our products. I am sure I met Brenda Rosenbaum and Deborah Chandler back then at a conference for weaving cooperatives. And it was at that conference that I learned about the challenges earning a living from backstrap weaving due to the enormous competition and the intense handwork that goes into it. And I learned about footloom weaving. You can probably tell I didn't have any background in textiles, so all of this was a big learning experience. In any case, when I returned to Kahola, I asked the group if anyone was interested in learning how to weave on the footloom, where we could make products that were more affordable and still earn a fair pay. And in Guatemala, the footloom weaving is usually done by men, but there was very great interest, so we acquired a loom and an instructor. After a few weeks of training, I told them, hey, now we're ready to start weaving to sell, and that they should come every day to our workshop. Since that is not the norm in Guatemala, where the women usually are weaving out of their homes, half of the group retired from the group. At the same time, we had another group learning how to sew on pedal sewing machines. We combined the weavers, the backstrap weavers that were in the group, and the seamstresses into one group, and they selected their name, Tejadoras Maya Mam, which means Maya Mam weavers. Next slide, please. And we were off. Along the way, I learned that industrial sewing machines would facilitate better quality. The seamstresses transitioned nicely into electric machines after initial wariness. They began producing products using the two striped plain weaves they had designed based on the local colorways. And the first products were kitchen towels. Then the weavers began to design their own fabrics, still in a plain weave, but all with stripes. I learned about the four-shaft loom then, and so we purchased some four-shaft looms. A master weaver came to teach them how to weave various designs. This was an important step because these weaves, which they make into shawls and bags, are distinctive in Guatemala, and they've been important in developing the Guatemala market. And of course, the weavers are creative, so they worked out their own variations of the weaves. On the seamstress front, the key to achieving quality and speed was, of course, practice. We did have help from a volunteer in learning how to make more complex items. One of the women received a scholarship in fashion design, and she brought lots of product development skills into the group. And the women have received workshops in product design and development. Quality control was important, of course. However, it wasn't until one of the women that we had hired to wash and iron the products, after I learned that you have to wash and iron the products, she was always asking about different things she was observing. So she became our first quality control coordinator. And that's a big challenge because the culture of Kahola is that you don't criticize your co-workers. And Sonia is going to tell you about how the quality control process works today. I assured the women in the beginning that it was their business. But looking back, I understand they didn't feel that way because honestly, I was the one making all the decisions. At the same time, I was really frustrated because I didn't know how to delegate responsibilities when more than half of the women had never even been to school. But as women who had secondary schooling entered the group, they became coordinators of sales and marketing, of production, of finance. In February 2018, we started the Sales and Marketing Council, and that has been the basis for their becoming an independent women-run business, which Maria is going to tell you about. By the time COVID came around, they were pretty much running the business, and I no longer had to be there every month. Nowadays, I'm there about 4 times a year. Another slide, please. In the meantime, I formed Mayamam Weavers, a separate company in the US. The idea was to sell in the US where the market could accept retail prices that result from paying fairly. As for fair trade, I certainly felt we were practicing fair trade principles, but I understood we needed some kind of a third-party verification. We became members of the Fair Trade Federation. So my goal had simply been third-party verification. Participating in the Fair Trade Federation has been super helpful in learning best practices from other members. And Mayan Hands has always been there for us in particular. Today, Maya Mam Weavers is a tiny but growing business with a wide array of products in home and fashion accessories. We have focused on the retail side of things, investing in our website, but are now expanding into the wholesale market. Next, Maria will talk about Tejadoras Maya Mam, and I will translate for her. Maria.
Muy bien, muy buenas tardes a todas, a cada uno de ustedes. Mi nombre es María Vail, soy parte del grupo de Tejedoras Maya Mam.
Okay. Good afternoon. My name is Maria Vail. I'm part of the group of weavers of Tejedoras Maya Mam.
Bueno, yo les voy a compartir un poco sobre la formación de cómo está formado Tejedoras Maya Mam aquí en Cajola.
So I'm going to start by telling you a little bit about how the group of Tejedor weavers is formed in Cajola.
Sí, es un grupo de mujeres artesanas del municipio de Cajolá, departamento de Quetzaltenango, formada por 19 personas.
So we are a cooperative of 19 artisans, and we're in the town of Cajola, located in the department of Quetzaltenango.
Sí, anteriormente se inició como una cooperativa, un grupo, una asociación, pero actualmente ya está legalizado ya como una empresa mercantil lucrativa aquí en Guatemala.
Good point. So they started working as if they were a cooperative, but now they are organized as a Sociedad Anónimo, mercantile. It's a business somewhat like an LLC in the United States.
Sí, las socias somos las mismas personas que estamos trabajando
And the owners are the same
documentos
people that are
establecidos.
working. The same 19 artisans that are working are the owners.
Así es. Bueno, el trabajo, el grupo de mujeres está dividido en 7 áreas de trabajo.
So our members are organized into 7 different work areas.
Sí, que les voy a mencionar cada una de ellas.
So I'll tell you about each one of them.
Ujú. Tenemos lo que es el área inicial o lo que es el devanado de hilo, que es un proceso donde se realiza el hilo de madeja a cono, ya listo para preparar los tejidos.
So the first step that happens is taking the yarn that we buy in skeins and putting it onto the cones.
Seguido de eso tenemos lo que es el área de telar de cintura, que es el tejido tradicional, ancestral, que se ha estado trabajando. Ahí está formado por 3 compañeras las que estábamos trabajando ahí.
And the next group is the backstrap weavers, and they are working on our ancestral way of weaving on the backstrap loom. And we have 3 people in that group.
Sí, así es. También tenemos el área de telar de pie. Igual es un área donde hay como 12 telares. Esta área se ha innovado prácticamente. Hay algunos diseños que se ha trasladado de telar de cintura a telar de pie con la forma de agilizar el trabajo.
So the next area is the foot loom area where we have 12 looms. And this area is important because we've been able to take in this area designs from the backstrap loom and put them on the foot loom, which makes them more affordable.
Así es, también tenemos lo que es el área de corte y confección. Ahí se realiza el proceso de confección, de elaboración de todo tipo de producto que se necesita de confección, que la mayoría de la que se hace necesita de confección. Ahí hay 8 máquinas industriales.
And then I'm going to talk about the seamstresses because the majority of our products have to be sent to the seamstresses areas to be put together. And we have 8 industrial machines.
Pues prácticamente después de eso tenemos lo que es el área de control de calidad, donde se revisa cada detalle de los productos que se hace.
And then we have quality control, which is where they look at every single product that we pass through.
Sí, pues después de eso tenemos el área de finanzas, los áreas
And we have
administrativos, que es donde se realiza ya el cálculo de los costos, el horario, los pagos de los productos. Eso es todo lo que se realiza en el área de finanzas.
So then in our administrative area, we have finances, and that's where all of our costs are calculated, the pays are calculated, the control of all our accounting is in finances.
Sí, y por último, tenemos lo que es el área de ventas y sí, ventas prácticamente ya donde se realiza todo la logística, la organización de las ventas del producto que se elabora en el grupo.
Y mercadeo, Maria.
Ventas y
I'm
mercadeo.
sorry. So the next area is sales. So that's where they're in charge of logistics and finding or satisfying the customers that are making orders. And I pointed out that she's also has to do marketing as well.
Sí,
Okay.
parte de las áreas que está aquí en el taller de Cajola, también tenemos alianzas con otros grupos.
So in addition to the people that we have working in Cajola, we have alliances with other groups.
Sí, podemos mencionar algunos. Por ejemplo, tenemos alianza con un grupo de Chichicastenango que se llama ATEDI.
So we work with a group in Chichicastenango that's named Demve.
Adembes. Sí, ese grupo más que todo nos está apoyando cuando hay mucha demanda en la elaboración de productos. Eso trabajan directamente en áreas de corte y confección.
So this group, Demve, they work with us when we have excess demand, and they do seamstress work.
Así es, también tenemos alianza con un grupo, es cercano aquí del mismo departamento de Quetzaltenango. Ellos se llaman ATEDI.
So we work with another group that's in our same uh, department of Quetzaltenango, and the group is named Atede.
Sí, ellos nos apoyan directamente con la producción, elaboración de telas en telar de pie.
And what they do for us is weaving on foot looms.
Sí, al igual que un grupo de mujeres aquí de un municipio cercano que se llama Sacbe, igual ellas nos apoyan en la elaboración de productos ya directamente en el área de corte y confección.
And then we work with another group that's very close by in San Juan, that's name is Sacbe, and they help us also with sewing projects or sewing when we have products when we have demand.
Así es, la mayoría de esos grupos somos mujeres, las que ahí sí que estamos apoyando unos a otros en la elaboración, no solo es Tejedoras Maya Mam, sino que viene alianza, trabajo de otros grupos.
So we feel good because these are groups of women, and we feel good that we can be collaborating with them when we have too much work.
Sí, después de esos procesos ya viene lo que es la actividad de ventas, ¿verdad? Donde están nuestros productos, dónde se venden nuestros productos aquí a nivel nacional.
And so then I can talk about the sales where we sell our products here in Guatemala.
Sí, pues les voy a mencionar algunas tiendas donde hemos realizado, hacemos ventas directas y también hacemos ventas a consignación.
So I'm going to talk about some places where and we sell some things directly and some things we put on consignment.
Sí, pues les voy a, por ejemplo, en Antigua es un lugar donde tenemos productos ahí en algunas tiendas. Actualmente tenemos productos venta directa y a consignación en la Casa de los Gigantes.
So she's talking about selling in Antigua, Guatemala, where we have several places to sell, and we sell directly and consignment in the Casa de los Gigantes.
Sí, también tenemos en una tienda Sueños de Artesanos, está ubicado por el Arco de Antigua.
And we sell in a store named Sueños de Artesanos, which is near the Arch in Antigua.
Ujú. También hay un hotel donde está, ese hotel se llama Mestizo, está a una cuadra del Parque Central de Antigua.
We sell also in a hotel called Hotel Mestizo that's a block from the Central Park.
Sí, también tenemos en Nóvica, pero Nóvica ahorita ya se asociaron con Casa de los Gigantes, ahorita está compartiendo lugar, entonces por si alguien interesa ver nuestros productos en Antigua, Nóvica y Casa de los Gigantes ya están ahí juntos.
So we have been selling to an organization called Novica, but now they've started to sell within the Casa de los Gigantes. So if you want to see our products, that's where you can go to in Antigua.
Sí, pues otro punto donde están los productos es en Quetzaltenango.
Another place where we sell is in Quetzaltenango.
Ujú. Está en 3 tiendas, hay una tienda, todas las tiendas están en el Parque Central, que es el centro histórico de Quetzaltenango, zona 1.
So we sell in 3 shops, and they're all in the center, the historical center of Quetzaltenango.
Sí, hay una tienda que se llama Tanchula Yo, está por el pasaje Enrique, la otra que es Café Cat también está cerca del Parque Central, está Innova también, que son lugares cercanos del Parque Central.
So close to the Central Park, we have Tanchuluyo, which is in the Pasajes Enrique, and we have Café Cat and Innova, which are near the Central Square.
Sí, también hemos realizado pedidos ya directos. Por ejemplo, estuvimos trabajando 2 años con Ivos que nos apoyaron con algunos pedidos y otros pedidos más que sea trabajando con clientes y a ventas directas. También con las alianzas que trabajamos también. Ellos han comprado alguna parte de tela que usan para sus productos con nosotros. Eso también los hemos considerado como clientes.
So we also have direct clients. We have been selling for a couple of years a specific custom product to Evos. We have other customers around who ask for special products from us. And then we sell fabric also to the cooperative that sews for us. Sometimes we also sell fabric to them. So we have those kinds of sales as well.
Así es, aquí termina mi presentación.
And that's
Eh,
how it is. And that's the end of my presentation. Gracias,
Muchas
Maria.
gracias por el tiempo.
Thank you very much for your time. Okay, let's move to Sonia, who will talk about quality control.
Okay. Hi, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Sonia. I am the coordinator of quality control. In quality control process in Maya Mam weavers, the first step is all weavers and garment maker receive training from the beginning. Even the women who work in the backstrap loom receive detailed instruction of each one of our products. The designs, measurements, and specifications are thought before making each item. The preparation of raw materials and fabrics. We have the catalog or our catalog of threads and colors registered within the cooperative. My assistant and I review all the products. When all finished fabrics and products, we check the construction, the fabric, and the finish of each one our products. Same products like Table runners, napkins, aprons, and large towels are washed before folding and measuring. In the same group of Maya Mam weavers, woman completes every step from weaving and finishing. This process is unique in our community. Many people do not know the cultural value behind the clothing we make. Our products are guaranteed in quality, helps us to offer our products internationally. Every product we send represents our community, our culture, and the work of our weavers. Our work represents our culture, identity, and community. Every product is handmade with care and tradition. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sonia. And now we will ask Jennifer to talk about marketing in the US.
Hello. My primary role with Maya Mam Weavers is to share the products and the story with our customers, along with answering any questions that might come up about the cooperative or our products. Our customers are a mix of retail and wholesale consumers that we market to, and I do this through photography, through maintaining the product images on the website, posting on social media, sending out emails to our customers, and through customer service. So, as you can imagine, photography is a pretty important part of a way to visually share our products with the rest of the world. We need a combination of product photos as well as editorial photos. So the picture that you see here on the screen on the right is my home studio that I take the product pictures of. And in the middle is a dining table that has been in my house before that I set up for an editorial image. Excuse me. The product photos are all taken on a neutral background, and it allows you to see the details of the product, how many a set comes with, whereas the editorial pictures are done to show you some inspiration on how to use our products. It might inspire you to buy our products as gifts for other people. And it also can answer some important detailed questions that customers don't always read in the product description. So if we have a picture of our market tote bag hanging on somebody's shoulder, that might give you an idea how low the bag is going to drop on you, as opposed to reading it's a 12-inch drop in the product description. Most people do get their information from a picture over the description. I have learned, I don't have formal photography training. I've looked up a lot of videos on YouTube. I've done reading. And I just try to get inspiration from other websites or people doing similar things to us. Robin, that I work with, has taught me a lot about having an eye for the way things are set up, the best angles to take pictures of, and also how to set up a shot so that you're not losing the point of your products. For example, if I set up a table setting with placemats and a runner and napkins, I shouldn't get too carried away, I've learned, by putting a beautiful piece of pottery in the middle of the table. It's confusing to customers and they don't know, is that available? Is that what I'm supposed to be looking at? Or am I supposed to be looking at the placemats and runners? So you just have to be careful with the other things that you put in your photographs. We don't have a big budget for photography for models. So if you look through our website, you're going to see a lot of our family, our friends, and you may even find us in pictures as well. Next slide. So every day we have an opportunity to talk to our customers through social media, through emails, and through our blog. we have a pretty solid schedule that we have created that keeps us on a regular flow of all of those things. So for social media, we use Instagram and Facebook, and we try to post about 4 to 5 times a week. We do use the same images and same text on both of those places. And then we need to make sure that we're answering comments or questions that are posted on those in those places. We try to stay up on current trends so that we're always on the right side of the algorithm as best as we can. And for our posts at the beginning of the week, I have gotten in the rhythm of posting pictures from the cooperative, pictures of the weavers or the seamstresses, and that really gets the best. Those are the posts that perform the best. The rest of the week, I try to show a variety of products, whether it's a variety of color or a variety of products in use. Every Sunday morning, we send an email that highlights a product or collection of products. This time of year, we're jumping right into gift guides since it's holiday shopping season. The email is a mix of photographs and text. I would say right now the photographs are more important than the text in an email. And we consistently send every Sunday morning. We've done testing to see if there's a better time of day or a better day of the week, but Sundays mornings always do perform the best. The blog is a monthly article that we post on our website, and it lives there forever. It's a really important way to answer questions about the cooperative, to share the story with people. It's something that shows up on the search engines. It's an opportunity for us to answer questions like the one you see here. The post from last month was, how do the women get paid? It's actually a blog post that we used several years ago, and then we just revamped it with some new photography and some updated information. This is something that I use when people post on Facebook this question. Many people are aware of fair pay, so I will use this link to answer their question, and then it brings them to the website. If they choose to read it, they'll be on our website looking around. So through all of these avenues, we use the same authentic voice of a comfortable, informal chat with our customers, which then leads us to the next slide, that we believe that customer service is an extremely important part of the business. So first, we're committed to shipping out our orders within 1 business day, and we do remind people that a lot, especially this time of year. Customers want to feel comfortable knowing that they're going to get their order in a timely fashion. Our orders are beautifully wrapped in red tissue paper, and we have a postcard you can see in the picture on the right. There's a postcard with pictures of the women, and on the other side is a short description of the cooperative and that shares the story. We want the unboxing of your order to be part of the experience. So the other way we address customer service is by trying to answer questions quickly. We have an email link on our website, and we have had for many years, where people can ask for questions or sign up for a wait list if a product is out of stock. We recently added a chat box. On the picture on the left, you can see there's in the circle, and this has already taken off with people who don't know how to find the answer to a question on the website. We are there to answer. We don't say that we're sitting there for certain hours. We have an automatic response that says we'll answer you within 24 hours, but it's been very easy to attend to. I would say within an hour or two, we've answered questions about how to care for our products, or how many things are in a set, or where is Kahala was the most recent question today. So our tone and manner and the authentic voice that we use to speak to people is a large part of our brand story. But of course, the other side of that is the look and feel of our actual products. And for that, we're going to turn to Robin.
Hi, I'm Robin, and just as Jennifer is responsible for our brand voice, I'm responsible for the overall look and feel of our products, what we would call our visual brand. We know it's important to develop and maintain a unique brand so that we can differentiate our company from others and ensure that our customers know what to expect from us, but are also surprised and delighted by new products that we introduce. Caryn started out with the vision that our products would be inspired by the weaving traditions of the Maya culture, but be tailored to North American customers using colorways and products that fit with a sort of international decor and tastes. The look and feel that we have now has grown organically over time through trial and error. I pushed in the beginning, for instance, to add a minimalist black and white and gray palette. Did I mention I'm from New York City? That did not sell as well as the rainbow colors the women chose, and I was sad. When developing products, we began with textiles the women were making for their own market, women's shawls and kitchen and dining products, and those remain core strengths and strong selling products. We eventually added products in a wide range of categories and solidified on a brand promise of hand-woven textiles in brilliant and rich color and complex patterns that show off the weaver's skills, made into high-quality, durable products for a range of uses. Doing my own page turning here. To fulfill our brand promise, we needed a consistent, coherent product offering. And by consistent, I mean products that look like they come from us, that match our brand promise. And by coherent, I mean in each category, we offer a range of products with clear choices in enough colors to suit many different tastes. So an early challenge to building this product mix was shifting from thinking of weaving designs individually on their own merits to thinking of categories of color. When I first started working with Caryn, the weavers had designed many different shawl colorways and weaves, often not that distinct from one another. We had a cobalt and magenta shawl and an ocean and coral shawl, both lovely, but both essentially blue and pink. The flat weave stripe patterns had the same issue. There'd be no one hero color, like blue or orange, but instead multiple colors chosen from what was available in our thread collection to look beautiful together. And that is how the women think of their patterns and their colors. It's what makes them special. As we looked at our assortment, we kept the best-selling colors like our Quetzal Jade and Berry Jubilee, but we had to discontinue weaves that were too similar and then added in color categories we didn't have, like our recent green poblano stripe. Sometimes we had to adjust our brand promise a little bit in order to be able to offer something for everyone. We added some softer colors to our core bold colors. Our ticking stripe, which you can see in the basket in the picture, was added to kitchen stripes, thinking of the trends towards all white kitchens. There was also, as we were trying to add new products, the challenge of being a small company, needing to find ways to do more with what we had. Because warping each colorway is extremely time consuming, we made 2 colors in one length of fabric. By wefting a design half in white, half in blue, we got a light blue and a dark blue colorway from the same warp. Surprisingly, these work really nicely together sometimes, and we have extended that to some others, but eventually stopped needing to do that. There's the continuing challenge of translating a design vision to the final textile based on my extremely limited experience of weaving. And by experience, I mean making potholders from cotton loops in Girl Scouts. The quadritos weave was originally woven on the backstrap loom, and we loved it. But the backstrap loom was too expensive to weave everyday products. After a long conversation with Caryn, which I explained definitively why it could not be done on the foot loom, she asked the weavers, and they laughed and said, of course it could. And now we have that weave in 6 colorways. We also have lots of mishaps when I try to explain what I want to Caryn in English. She explains to the weavers in Spanish. They translate that to Mom, and then we see what happens. Eventually, we learn to diagram and prototype everything, and still there are surprises when two colors don't interact as I think they will, or the repeat that I envisioned as left to right is translated as mirrored, and you can see the kind of specification where I'm trying to draw something to communicate what it is that I want to have happen in the warp and the weft. Sorry. So as we move forward, we continue to add fresh new products. We collaborate as a team, and we're always looking around to see what customer needs we can fill to create new products, but efficiently. And one way to do that is to create new colorways to extend our library of fabrics. I'm thinking all the time about all our different weaves, the Maya Mam stripes, the diamond weave, our window pane weave, the cuadritos, the ache, and then I try to fill in colors we're missing in each weave. For example, I'm very excited about a new colorway we just added to our cuadritos weave, blue corn. You can see it, blue corn in the corner. Another way to create new products is to look for gaps to fill in existing product categories. We added fabric baskets in home decor to match our throw pillows and tablecloths to the dining category, joining our placemats and napkins. When we use existing fabrics, these products can be easily prototyped, and we're really helped by our talented seamstresses in the cooperative who can find the simplest construction methods. We also make sure to use every inch of fabric. We're often fitting small objects such as our cup sleeves into the cutouts from bigger products or using literal scraps in our dog tug toys. We can also add successful products just by using existing fabrics. We added cobalt stripes, one of our most popular colors, to our wine totes and our market totes. And sometimes we can translate a colorway from one weave into another. The champagne and pearls scarf in window pane weave inspired us to make champagne cuadritos. We watch what is selling and make the most of it. And finally, we are still inspired by the women's creativity, especially in the training exercises where they choose their own colors. Recently, the women trained on the panelito weave and chose just a glorious array of purple and aqua and pink and yellow. I wouldn't have ever started with purple myself, but it's stunning. And now I'm going to figure out how to use that weave in other colorways. I'm thinking maybe black and white, a little gray. I'm just kidding. It will be beautiful. And that's all I have to say about new products and new colors.
So you've heard our story. Do you have any questions? Or I can hand this back to Deborah or Kelsey.
Deborah, would you like to read questions directly out of the chat, or would you like me to help facilitate?
Oh, I'd love you to help because you've done it before and you know how to do it. I can start with one question, but let's go to the chat first. Because I always have questions.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah, let's start with, there's a couple in the chat, and everyone please feel free to continue to add questions. And we have plenty of time here for Q&A. So the first, we have a question from Brianna. She asked midway through the program, is weaving on the backstrap loom to make the traditional costume, shirt, belt, skirt, a closed practice, something only Maya do? She's learning backstrap weaving because her mother and her side of the family are Guatemalan, but beyond that, she does not know and would welcome input on this. She has been told that Maya and Guatemalan are not different words for the same people. So for that question, does anyone on the Maya Mam team?
I don't know why I'm in the dark. I have no idea what to do about it. Anyway, so the question is whether the huipil, etc., is part of a Maya costume, and is Maya the same as Guatemala? Is that the question?
That's how I'm understanding it. No, Deborah, how are you understanding it?
I'm understanding it as backstrap weaving, not necessarily huipils. This backstrap weaving only in the Maya world, and or can other people do it? And is there a distinction linguistically between Mayan and Guatemalan?
So I can answer that. So
Brianna's here. You can tell us too.
Backstrap weaving is how indigenous people all over the world started weaving because it's very logical. It's something you can do with a tree and some yarn. So backstrap is not unique to the Maya people of Guatemala. In Guatemala, we have 22 different ethnic groups of Maya people, each with their own language. And so each of them has their own language and they have their own style of dressing. So even each town has its own style of dressing. So it's very complicated. And so Guatemala is a multilingual country with 25 different languages, I believe. I hope that answered the question.
Yes.
Okay.
But is the making of the huipil and the cortes and the faja is that only Mayan or is that Guatemalan as well? Because
Mayan and Guatemala, all Maya people that live in Guatemala are also Guatemalans, but only Maya people use that as their traditional dress.
The rest of the rest of the people who are not Mayan are called Ladino. So that adding that word in might help. Mostly Ladino people don't weave the same way that Mayan people weave.
And they don't wear the same clothing.
Right.
Understood. Thank you so much.
And Brianna, I'm sure you saw Deborah also shared her email address in the chat, and you're welcome. She welcomes you to write to her for more dialogue if you like to do that. Okay, great. We have a question from Marie France. What are the most popular products selling in the US, and where did the weavers purchase the threads they use for weaving? So 2 questions there.
So the weavers purchase their threads from an organization, a company in Olintepeque, which is a nearby town, and they're all hand dyed. They're not natural dyes, but the process that they do of dyeing is a hand process. And what was the other part of it?
What are the most popular products selling?
I can't answer that. We have a strong business in table like linens and kitchen linens and in bags. Those are the main part of them. And scarves, yeah, you're right.
Toiletry bags.
I said bags. That includes
bags. That includes
all of those, right? Yeah.
Okay.
But yes, scarves.
Some good questions here. Have tariffs affected the sales and prices?
Not yet, but we only just got hit with our first tariffs last month, and so the weavers ship us once a month, and so when the tariffs went into place, I had to pay, but I have to pay a lump sum, and it had no detail. The detail finally got here, and it's not pretty. And so I'm hoping to work so that we can get it. It's not done in a very correct way or professional way as I can see it. So I think it's still under process, but it will have some impact. But the agreement with Guatemala is not very high. It's like 10%. So it would not have a huge impact on our pricing. So
okay, thank you. And another question, how has inflation in Guatemala affected you?
Inflation is really high in Guatemala. The women they have the ability to give themselves a small raise on their wages each year. I don't think it comes up with the pressure from inflation, but right now that's how they're dealing with it. The women, so I work with them on their pricing and on their pay. And I just have been saying, like, I think you should be taking an increase, a small increase every year just to try and deal with it in some way. And then they do try to keep at the level of pay that's comparable to the national minimum wage level, which is much higher than most of Kahola.
Great. Okay, thank you, Caryn. The next question is from John Laswick. How do you assess customer demand for new or different products?
As a small company, what we do is make a small production run and put them out there. And if people love it, then we start making more. And if they don't, they just sit there for a while. So, and some things take a while so we don't do any market research or market investigation. We just put out a small quantity of products because it's not, they don't require a big initial investment. So when we come up with an idea, so I share the product with the gal in charge of new products there, and she constructs it and we cost it, and then we decide whether to try it or not. And we do a small run. So it's not a big incremental cost like if you were producing on a set of machines or you needed to invest in something new. So it's not a very cost intensive process, and that's how we do it. And so far it's been going pretty well. I think most of our new products, they don't necessarily get accepted the first day, but they do over the period of a couple of months start to be accepted.
Great. Okay, another sales related question from Deborah. Do you do any wholesale sales in the US?
Yes, we do. We have for a long time had a really important wholesale customer, and now we are on fair. And so we have been selling, our wholesale business has been growing actually quite dramatically. It's still, well, no, it's growing to be a significant part of the business. It's right now about a third of the business. So that's
Great.
significant.
I'm going to do a little plug for a Warp resource that's related. I'm putting this in the chat. This is a link to Warp's Artisan Direct Connect. So this is a listing of Warp member businesses that do retail sales, wholesale sales, uh, have services for artisan groups, and also textile tours. And I know my mom weavers are listed there.
Yes,
And so if anyone wants to check out, I'm not sure. Hopefully, we have you listed under retail and wholesale. But if there
yeah,
are any WARP members here who would like to have your business listed, there's also a link on that page
right.
to add a listing.
Yes, I think we're there under both, and we don't do textile tours, but I have to say we have really enjoyed hosting customers who have dropped by they want to see where it all happens. So not
Wonderful.
thousands of them, but certainly regularly they have visitors there.
That's wonderful. Okay, there's one more comment that I will read, and then I'm going to turn it over to Deborah for. She said she has a question or two. So back to the question about Mayas and Ladinos and Guatemalan. Virginia wants to add that there's a Mayan presence in Mexico too. So she added that
Yes.
comment to the chat.
There absolutely is, and there's a Mayan presence in El Salvador and Honduras as well. So yes, but well, a huge part is in Guatemala.
Okay, and one more, actually, I've missed, there's one more question, a market question. Do you reach the Canadian market? This is from Sharon, who's in Toronto,
Yes,
Ontario.
we do sell in the Canadian market. Yes, we do. Absolutely.
Great.
And do you ship from Guatemala to Canada?
No, all of our shipping is out of the United States.
Okay.
All of our shipping goes from the United States. The Guatemala ships to us, and we distribute it here in New Jersey,
Okay.
which is how come we can promise to get it out right away, and people can get
Right.
it quickly.
So you end up with Canadian taxation on top of US taxation.
I guess we will in the new world.
Yeah. Ouch.
Well, I don't have to. I'm not going to have. We won't have Canadian. That would be if the customer has to pay it, they would have to pay it. It's the
Right,
importer that pays the taxes, right? But I don't know if the
right.
Canadians have to pay a tax coming in. I don't know.
I think so. I think they're going to get the same tariff problem.
I see Marie France, who's a Canadian member, nodding yes. So, yes.
Yeah.
I also just want to add, I just put the Maya Mom Weaver's website directly into the chat if anyone wants to go directly there. And
Thank
we have
you.
a few minutes left. Deborah, did you have a compelling question you wanted to ask?
Well, yeah, two. Back to more about the women. Actually, one. Um, does the group grow or shrink, or what if more people want to be in it, or are there more people who want to be in it, or how do you do that? Or is that why you have the auxiliary groups that
We
you
the
associate
the
with?
women welcome people to come in. And it's there's no fixed size to it. They welcome it. Now being a Sociedad Anónima is new, so I don't know. They can have people working in the co-op in the business who are not owners. And so I don't know how they've thought through that, or if they've even thought through that, but I will talk about it in my next visit. But no, they are happy to have new members. And if they had enough people there in Cajola, then they
Mhm.
wouldn't need the alliances. It's the alliances came out of the staff. They weren't able to recruit enough people in Cajola. My feeling was
Mm.
I started it for employment in Cajola. So it was frustrating to me to see that the demand was great and they were not able to get. I think there's some challenges in Cajola from the quantity of remittances come in. So it takes away some people's motivations to want. And something different about the weavers is they require committed working. So it's not like I can work out of my house when I want to. It's like you
Mhm.
have to be here 6 hours a day, 5 days a week. And so not everybody wants to do that. So that they really did have for a while some trouble recruiting people, but it looks to me as if that's reducing. I don't know whether that's because people are being deported or what.
Yeah, do you have evidence that having the project going there is making anybody decide not to go north?
And sadly, I have no evidence of that.
Okay.
I mean, that was the dream. That's the dream. But when people say, "Did you stop migration?" No, I don't think we did. So,
Uh-huh.
but anyway, no.
Okay. Huh. And I don't know if our whole audience knows exactly what remesas are and what that's all about, or remittances. But it's money that people who have gone to the US earn and then send home to their families.
And Guatemalans sent $24 billion in 2024. That's a lot of
Yes.
money.
And it was
It's more,
20% of the Guatemalan basically economy last year too.
Yes, yes.
yeah,
It's always huge.
it's staggering. And it's amazingly, until now, never been taxed on either side. But they're beginning to try to think about how to start taxing it, which is really
Well,
aggravating.
the US is taxing it at 5% now.
Now,
Yeah,
but it didn't
yeah.
used to.
No, no, that's a Trump invention.
Yeah, yet one more. So, but I think we've hit our time limit. It's 2:00 here.
We are on the hour. We are. Well, I want to thank everyone who attended for joining us today, and I want to thank Caryn and the whole Mayamam team for the wonderful presentation. It was so beautifully presented, and we really appreciate your time putting it together and being with us today.
Thank you for inviting us.
Okay.
And I want to add that next month's panel presentation, well, next month is December and we don't do one. And so the next one we're doing is in January, and it's going to be 3 different WARP members talking about the podcasts that they do. And each is very, very different from each other one. And we may have more in the audience talking about theirs, I hope. So that'll be in January, and it's going to be pretty interesting. So we hope you'll come.
Yes, thank you, Deborah. We will have that open for registration here shortly, and an email will go out when that's open for registration, and it will also be right on our homepage when it's open for registration.
Oh, I want to say thank you to all of you too. It's really impressive to see how sophisticated some aspects of what you're doing are. And obviously that's connected to your success, which is magnificent.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you all. Have a great day, everyone.